Good morning. Welcome in. My name is Isabelle. Is this your first time visiting us?
Good morning, Isabel. Yes, first time. I have walked past this shop about 100 times and finally decided to come in.
I am so glad you did. What brings you in today? Are you looking for something specific, or would you like to explore?
Honestly, I want to find a proper signature scent, something that is actually me. Right now, I just buy whatever's on the shelf, and I feel like I can do better than that.
That is a wonderful place to start. Finding a signature scent is one of the most personal things a person can do, and you are absolutely right that you deserve better than whatever happens to be convenient.
I appreciate that. I should warn you, though, I know almost nothing about fragrance. I don't even know the right words to use.
That's perfectly fine. By the end of our conversation, you will have all the words you need. Let me begin with the most fundamental concept. Every fragrance is built from notes. Notes are the individual layers of scent that make up a perfume. They reveal themselves at different times after you apply it to your skin.
So, a fragrance changes over time.
It does, yes. There are three layers. The top notes are what you smell immediately when you first spray the fragrance. They're usually light and fresh. The heart notes, sometimes called the middle notes, appear about 15 to 30 minutes. They form the true character of the fragrance. And finally, the base notes emerge later and last the longest on the skin.
So what I smell in the bottle is not necessarily what I'll smell all day.
Exactly right. This is one of the most important things to understand. Never judge a fragrance only from the bottle or from the first spray. Always give it time to develop on your skin before deciding.
That explains why some things I've tried smelled great at first and then felt wrong an hour later.
Precisely. What you are experiencing is called the dry down. The dry down is the final stage of a fragrance on your skin, when the base notes fully settle and the scent becomes its most personal and intimate version.
Dry down. That's a great word. And you mentioned the scent becomes personal. Does fragrance actually smell different on different people?
It genuinely does. Your skin chemistry, your natural warmth, and even your diet can all affect how a fragrance develops on you. A scent that is extraordinary on one person can smell quite different on another. This is why we always encourage testing on skin rather than just on paper strips.
I had no idea it was that individual. What about concentration? I've seen words like eau de parfum and eau de toilette on bottles. What's the difference?
Concentration refers to the percentage of fragrance oil in the formula. The higher the concentration, the stronger and longer lasting the scent. Eau de toilette has a lower concentration, typically around 8 to 12%. Eau de parfum is richer, usually between 15 and 20%. And pure parfum, sometimes called extract, is the most concentrated and the most intense of all.
So, a higher concentration means it lasts longer on the skin.
Generally, yes. Longevity is the word we use to describe how long a fragrance stays detectable on your skin. A good eau de parfum might last 6 to 8 hours. A pure parfum can last considerably longer.
And what about that trail a fragrance leaves in the air when someone walks past? I always notice that, but I never knew what to call it.
That's called sillage. It's a beautiful French word that literally means the wake left behind a boat moving through water. In fragrance, it describes the scented trail a perfume leaves in the air around you and as you move through a space.
Sillage. That's genuinely one of the most poetic words I've ever heard.
The fragrance world has many of them. It's a very poetic industry. Now, to help me find the right direction for you, can I ask what kind of impression you want to make? Warm and inviting, fresh and energetic, deep and mysterious?
I think warm and inviting. I want people to feel comfortable around me, something that feels approachable but also a little bit interesting.
That is a very clear brief, actually. You're describing what we call an oriental or gourmand direction, fragrances with warm base notes like sandalwood, amber, and vanilla. They feel enveloping and human and genuinely comfortable to be around.
That sounds exactly right. What are those base notes you mentioned? Is sandalwood a wood?
It is, yes. Sandalwood is a smooth, creamy, slightly sweet wood that gives enormous warmth to a fragrance. Amber is actually not a single ingredient, but an accord. An accord is a carefully blended combination of several ingredients that together create a single recognizable scent impression. Amber accords are warm, resinous, and deeply comforting.
And vanilla, that's an ingredient I actually recognize.
Vanilla in fragrance is richer and more complex than the vanilla you might smell in baking. In a perfume, it adds sweetness and depth without being sugary. It's one of the most universally beloved notes in the entire olfactory world.
Olfactory. That's a new one for me.
Olfactory simply means relating to the sense of smell, so the olfactory world is the entire universe of scent. Perfumers sometimes call the nose the most emotional of all our senses, and there's real science behind that idea.
That's fascinating. Can I try something in the direction you described?
Absolutely. Let me select two options for you. I want you to try one on each wrist and give them both about 10 minutes to develop before we talk about what you're experiencing.
Should I use those paper strips first?
The strips buy useful for a first impression, but skin is always better. And do you see these small bowls of coffee beans on the counter?
Yes, I noticed those. I thought they were just decoration.
They're actually a palate cleanser for your nose. Smelling coffee beans between fragrances helps reset your olfactory sense so each new scent comes through clearly and without interference from the last one.
That's extraordinary. I would never have known that.
It's one of those wonderful little professional secrets. Now, here are your two options. Take your time. There's absolutely no rush here.
Thank you. This one on my left wrist already feels very warm and close, almost like a second skin.
That's a beautiful way to describe it. That feeling of a fragrance melting into your skin and feeling completely natural is exactly what you want for a signature scent. That feeling means the fragrance is working with your chemistry beautifully.
Isabelle, I came in here thinking I would just pick something quickly and leave. I had no idea this would be such a rich experience.
Fragrance deserves time and attention. It's one of the few things we wear that's completely invisible, and yet it's often the thing people remember most about us.
That's a remarkable thought. I'll never think about getting dressed in the morning the same way again.
That's the very best thing I could hear. Shall we talk about what you're noticing on your wrists now?
Yes, let's do that. I think I already know which one I want.
Something tells me I do too. Let's find out if we agree.